Study of the human structures. Is it anatomy or physiology?
Anatomy.
Anatomy. Okay, this is the condition of equilibrium or balance in the body's internal environment.
Homeostasis.
Homeostasis. Which type of bone is the tibia? Is it a long bone, short bone, a regular bone? Long bone. This is a type of movement where there is an increase in the angle between adjacent joints in a diarthrotic joint. So, is it extension or flexion?
Extension.
Extension. Okay, the ribs that have costal cartilage that attaches directly to the sternum. True ribs. Okay, most intravenous solutions or IV solutions are what with respect to blood cells? Is it isotonic?
Isotonic.
Which of the following is a type of fibrous joint composed of a thin layer of dense, irregular, fibrous connective tissue found between the bones of the skull?
Suture.
Sutures. Where do the majority of synarthrotic joints in the human body occur? So the majority of synarthrotic joints, is it axial or appendicular skeleton?
Appendicular.
Axial.
Oh.
Axial. If the solute or salt concentration is greater inside of the cell than outside the cell, water will move by osmosis
Into the cell.
into the cell. Which form of secretion occurs when vesicles that are formed within the cell fuses with the apical cell membrane and releases their contents into the extracellular matrix?
Exocytosis.
Merocrine.
Oh, all right.
All right. The patella bone is classified as a what kind of bone?
Sesamoid.
Sesamoid. You made it. Okay. We're just doing the final review. Okay. So blood that has a pH of 7.35 would be classified as a blank solution, alkaline or acidic?
Alkaline.
Alkaline. Adipocytes is classified as a blank type of tissue. Is it connective or epithelial or adipose?
Connective.
Connective, yeah. So which stage of mitosis is characterized by the appearance of the chromatin or chromosomes and the breakdown of the nuclear membrane? Prophase. Prophase. So which of the following is not one of the main tissue types found in the human body? Is it epithelial, connective, myocardial, muscle, or nervous?
Myocardial.
Myocardial. Which of the following bones is the major weight-bearing bone of the lower leg? Tibia. Which of the following subtypes of tissues contain multinucleated cells whose movements are under voluntary control? Is it skeletal or is it skeletal? Excess lateral curvature of the vertebral column is classified as
Scoliosis.
scoliosis. Which of the following is not a connective tissue? Is it blood, bone, cartilage, tendons, or epidermis?
Epidermis.
Epidermis. The two principal types of cells found in nervous tissues are neurons and neuroglial. Excess secondary curvature of the thoracic vertebra leads to a condition known as kyphosis. This pigment secreted by specialized cells in the skin is capable of absorbing ultraviolet light. Starts with an M. Melanin. Yeah. Which of the following is not a common characteristic of synovial joints? I'm going to read them all out to you. Contains a joint cavity, freely movable, includes elastic cartilage, articulating bones are covered with a cartilaginous joint, has ligaments holding the joint. It includes elastic cartilage. That's the not the common. So the common characteristics are contains a joint cavity, freely movable, articulating bones are covered with a cartilaginous joint, and then it has ligaments holding the joint. Okay. What is the basic structural unit of compact bone tissue? Starts with an O.
Osteocyte.
O-S. Osteons. Osteons. Okay. Spongy bone tissue are arranged in, starts with a T.
Trabecular.
Yeah. One function of this long bone structure is the storage of energy in the form of triglycerides. Yeah, yellow marrow. This is the end of a long bone. Is it the epiphysis or the diaphysis?
Epiphysis.
Epiphysis. Which of the following structures contain osteocytes?
Lacuna.
Yeah, lacunae. Okay, bone mass reduction is promoted by which hormone? Is it
Parathyroid.
parathyroid? Where are the bones or ossicles located that act as a physiological sound amplifier? What bone is that?
Temporal.
Temporal. Which of the following is not a major function of the skeletal system? Is it support, locomotion, energy storage, carcinogenesis, or hemopoiesis?
Hemopoiesis. Whatever that is.
Carcinogenesis.
All right.
Carcinogenesis.
All right.
Okay, so major functions of the skeletal system: support, locomotion, energy storage, and hemopoiesis. What is hemopoiesis?
No clue.
Blood forming.
Things it does.
And you know how in your
For the
big,
marrow.
the long bones, yeah,
Okay.
your red blood cells are
And the
produced.
thing that it doesn't do, what was the answer?
The knot on that is carcinogenesis. What's that?
I don't know.
Cancer forming. Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, so
Makes
which
sense.
functional class of joints contains joints that are freely movable?
Diarrhea.
This is a layer of highly cartilage that reduces friction. No, I think that's hyaline cartilage. Anyway,
Articular.
a layer of cartilage that reduces friction between bones involved in a synovial joint. What'd you say?
Articular.
Yep, articular cartilage. Okay, this is the fibrous covering on the external surface of the bone that is involved in regulation of the thickness of the bone.
Periosteum.
Yep. Which of the following minerals are needed in large quantities when bones are growing?
Phosphorus.
Yep, calcium and phosphorus. Which type of fracture is considered a partial fracture that is typically seen in children? Green stick. Which ligament in the knee joint limits hyperextension and prevents the anterior sliding of the tibia on the femur? Ligament. Yep, ACL. Okay, hypersecretion of human growth hormone during childhood results in excessive growth of the skeletal system, leading to a condition known as, yep,
All of the above.
which okay, when you move your thumb.
Opposition.
Yeah, that's opposition. Which of the following bones is part of the axial skeleton? Is it? Let me at least read the choices. Okay, talus, tibius, sphenoid, or scapula? Sphenoid. Okay, the epiphyseal plate in a long bone is an example of this type of joint.
Synchondrosis.
Synchondrosis. Which of the following types of bone is the occipital bone? Is it flat or irregular?
Flat.
Flat. Which of the following types of bone is the vertebra?
Irregular.
Irregular. Okay, moving the humerus laterally at the shoulder joint is an example of which type of movement?
Abduction.
Abduction. Which of the following is an autoimmune disease that affects the joints?
Rheumatoid.
Rheumatoid arthritis. Okay, replication of DNA occurs in the what in the cell? Nucleus. How many phalangeal joints are in each foot? 14.
Wow.
Yeah. Another name for the subcutaneous layer of the skin is
Oh.
epidermis.
Hypo.
Okay, which layer of the skin is composed of a keratinized stratified squamous epithelium?
Epidermis.
Epidermis. Keratinized cells are found in the epidermis. Keratin is it a protein?
Protein.
Yes. You are sitting in a chair. Which of the following bones makes the most direct contact with the seat of the chair?
Ischial
Ischium or
tuberosity.
ischial tuberosity, yeah. Which epidermal cell has a role in innate immunity and disease resistance? It's the long one. It's the interepidermal macrophages. Okay?
Wow.
Yeah. Which layer of the epidermis is composed of a single row of cuboidal or columnar-shaped keratinocytes that are mitotically active? That's right, stratum basale. The stratum lucidum is present only in, is it thick or thin skin?
Thick.
Thick. Constant exposure of the epidermis to friction stimulates the formation of a callus, which is the thickening of the blank within the skin. Stratum corneum. Corneum. Characteristics of thick skin include, it does not contain hair follicles, contains epidermal ridges, contains more sudoriferous glands than thin skin, found in the palms, soles of the feet, and fingertips. Okay. Which form of accessory gland of the skin is a type of exocrine gland that consists of a simple coiled tubular gland that is found throughout almost the entirety of our skin?
Sweat gland?
The eccrine sweat gland. Eccrine or ecrine. In which type of scar does the scar tissue eventually extend beyond the original boundary of the injury and invades adjacent normal tissue? Starts with a K. Keloid. The joint between the first rib and the manubrium of the sternum is classified as a what kind of joint? It starts with an S. Synarthrosis.
Okay.
Which of the following conditions is due to a buildup of bilirubin pigment in the skin, which is found in newborns and individuals with liver failure?
Jaundice.
Jaundice, yeah. Okay, which condition results from androgens inhibiting hair growth in genetically predisposed adults?
Baldness.
Male pattern baldness.
Sucks.
Which of the following chemicals / proteins does not contribute to color of our skin? Let me give you the options. You got keratin, hemoglobin, pheomelanin, and melatonin.
Hemoglobin?
Melatonin,
Oh, wow.
yeah.
Wait, which of the ones
Which
do?
of the following chemicals or proteins does not contribute to the color of our skin?
It ain't melanin?
So it's
Trick question.
keratin, hemoglobin, and pheomelanin. Yeah.
Huh.
Everything I know is a lie.
Which of the following does not influence the rate of diffusion across the cell membrane?
ATP.
You've got temperature, you got amount of ATP, you got distance that the chemical has to diffuse, you got mass of the diffusing chemical, and you got concentration gradient of the chemical. across the
Amount of
membrane.
ATP.
Very good, amount of ATP. This is the transport process by which gases like oxygen and carbon dioxide move through a cellular membrane.
Simple.
Simple diffusion. Okay. Yep, last page. Okay, so I'm gonna have 4 questions that have the multiple answers on it. And, okay, so the first one is, the function of synovial fluid is to, you've got lubricate the joints, absorb shock, remove metabolic waste from the joint, provides nutrients to the joint, and prevents hyperextension.
All of the
joints.
above.
Except for prevent hyperextension.
Oh.
Yeah, okay. So DNA is found in is it nucleus, mitochondria, ribosome, centrosomes, Golgi apparatus? Nucleus, and there's one more.
Mitochondria.
Yep. Okay, epithelial tissue is used as a covering of body surfaces, is used as a lining of body cavities and hollow organs, is used to form glands, usually has a free surface that interacts with an environment, and is contractile.
All of the above.
All of the above except for that last one is contractile. Yeah. These can be considered bone building or / maintaining cells. So bone building or maintaining cells. You've got osteoblasts, osteocytes, erythrocytes, osteoclasts, and lymphoblasts. It's osteoblasts and osteocytes.
Sites.
Yeah. Okay. So that's all for the multiple answer one. You're gonna have 7 skull pictures. So 7 of those, which will be easy because you've already studied for the bones. You got 2 vertebra pictures, okay? You've got 2 pictures of the pelvis. You've got 2 pictures of the skin. All you have to do is identify the layers, like hypodermis, epidermis. You guys got that. What kind of joint is your shoulder joint? Starts with a D. Diarthrotic. And what is your elbow joint? S. Synovial. Synovial. So shoulder is a diarthrotic, and then elbow is a synovial. Okay. So here are your short answers that you need to know. Okay. So first one, 10 points. You're going to describe the steps in bone repair. Okay. This is what I want. After the break in the bone occurs, your blood vessels in that area are damaged and blood surrounds the fracture, okay? Blood solidifies to form a clot, which reduces the bleeding. White blood cells migrate into the area to remove bacteria, damaged cells. The osteoclasts migrate in to remove the dead bone matrix. Then your fibroblasts, they migrate into the structure to form a plate of cartilage to prevent further movement and damage at the fracture site. Thirdly, osteoblasts invade to replace the cartilage with bone matrix in the form of spongy bone. Last part, the bone matrix will be remodeled as compact bone replaces spongy bone. Okay?
So we put all those on a,
That's what I want for your short answer.
like, write down. Type
Yeah,
them out.
just keep writing it out until you remember, yeah. And then, the next one is, I want you to describe the general effects that aging has on joints,
Oh, yeah.
which are production of synovial fluid decreases, articular cartilage thins, your ligaments shorten and lose flexibility. Osteoarthritis develops from wear and tear. Bone becomes exposed at the joints and spurs form, and the synovial membrane becomes inflamed. So these changes lead to decreases in the range of motion of the joints, okay? The abdominal diagram that I had to do for the midterm, I'm gonna have that again. Majority of you guys got it, some of you guys blanked on a few parts, but that's.
Do we have to list an organ in each?
You have to list an organ in each, just because it's the basic, and you're gonna need to know this forever. So I just wanna make sure that it's ingrained in your head. Let's see, cell organelles. There's gonna be 6 that you're gonna label, just like we did on the midterm, okay? And then I'm gonna have the regional terms person on there, and there's gonna be, I'm gonna have that as 12 points. And so another name for the elbow, another name for your chin. So I'll probably just make a copy of that guy that you guys have, and then just white out different areas, and then, yeah. So, okay, so you guys have to know how to describe the steps in bone repair, and then describe the general effects on aging with joints. You got your abdominal diagram that you did for the final. You got your cell that you have to label.